You guys want to hit some unpopular opinions?
Yeah, I think we got a Cameron issue though.
Yeah, that's a brand. Chris just brought his own personal one in because we had one that died a couple weeks ago. And
was that the one that was overheating?
No, these three cameras here. I love the A6100s from Sony, but they can have an overheating problem. And since Miles came in, and Miles, when we interviewed him, I told him what was going on. He's put the setting on, and they haven't died since.
Oh, so awesome!
It's like Chris, you want to do one for us?
Being a pop musician's harder than being a jazz musician, I think. And this is unpopular, especially if you're, maybe a musically person or just a fan. But they think it's so virtuosic, it's so incredibly difficult. I think being that great of a player and then working in confines is a harder thing to do, maybe night to night.
I just think the gigs are also typically more demanding.
I think so. They can be, and maybe even not like a Taylor Swift level pop player, but even anything in between. Playing to tracks.
Yeah,
like there's focusing. Like jazz is a very conversational music, so like you go up there and you talk, and there's you're listening, you're reacting. It can be whatever it is that night. It can be just whatever you make it. Pop is a product.
Yeah, it's regimented. Yeah, you have to deliver.
It's hard work. The music may be simple, but like the demand is just so much higher. And I don't know if that, I know musicians pretty much get that. Some of them do, some of them don't. The lay people, they're just like, no, pops, I can understand that.
Oh,
jazz,
100%.
I don't get it. And
100%. Yeah, there's definitely a segment of the audience that doesn't even understand that those people are also artisans. You know what I mean? Like the people backing up pop musicians at every level, from demo recorders all the way up to people who are behind Beyonce. Like every layer, there is true artisanship.
Oh yeah,
in those players, because those cats like they do like 3 and 2s. I don't know if you guys know 3 and 2s. You know 3 and 2. So like that's a Nashville thing where they literally book a studio for 2 hours and you have to leave with 3 songs.
Oh wow,
nice.
Right, and it's like, try that with some motherfuckers who can't play.
Yeah, no, totally, dude.
Totally.
I mean,
you can't do it. You can't do it.
And that's just the thing. Like, even though the music is simple, you have to be virtuosic because it's literally time is money.
Absolutely.
And especially in a live setting where you're talking, like, if you are talking about a higher stakes pop gig, you're talking about easily $1 million production every single night.
Minimum,
So it's like, you can't fuck that up.
You can't,
right? Mm-hmm. So I don't care if you're playing 4 on the floor the whole night. You gotta fucking you gotta have the click in your ear. You're playing the tracks, and you gotta make sure you don't miss a fucking beat.
Yeah, if it's like, it doesn't matter if it's D minor for this whole verse.
Yeah,
you better lay that shit down.
Totally,
lock it down.
Drive that band.
It's nothing you want. You know what I mean? It's like and I'm sure you want to fulfill the gig if you took the gig, kind of thing, whatever. But like, you're not the one that's making any of those calls on that gig.
Nope, Lady Gaga's doing that shit.
And that's tricky.
Yeah.
Like that's, as a side musician, just kind of like compartmentalizing and going, okay, I'm doing a different thing tonight.
Yeah, 100%.
I would fucking love that, dude. I just want the experience.
I would enjoy it for sure.
Yeah. I just want the experience just to like know, because there is like an element of it where, like, as a musician, that you want to be able to understand the perspective of being like on stage in an arena with that kind of pressure to execute.
Yep.
I want to feel that so badly. You know what I mean? Whether and I don't even have a desire to be like the main artist.
Yeah.
And I'm also like, I've given up on that like kind of rock, like that pop star dream. But like, I would just as a side guy, I want to be there and like in it, and like I want to feel that shit.
Yeah, Every night your job's on the line.
Yeah,
like I've played a couple of those gigs, and it's demanding, and I think you're right. I think, unpopular or not, I think it holds weight. And I also think that, to take it just like outside of maybe the obvious realm, the jazzers don't spend as much time on the road.
Sure.
And so it's like those cats don't have to play with like the physical demands.
Yeah, man.
That
we
a lot
about
of
that recently.
Those cats do.
Yeah.
I remember that was also one of your unpopular opinions.
I went in on those guys too.
But I back that. And I think like if we're looking at the job as a whole, I think that there are more demands on somebody who plays in the pop realm and does it at the same level, right? Where
Yeah.
like we have to apples this. Like somebody who's doing this to eat. Not somebody who's like working on their pop deal, like, but somebody who's doing it and somebody who's doing it right, like somebody who's playing the Blue Note tonight or the Iridium tonight, and somebody who's playing the Staples Center tonight. Those people are on the same level. With even though they're
Playing wise, yeah.
Well, also commitment wise.
Yeah.
You know, like those people are both committed in the same way, and I think that the guy who's playing the Blue Note or the Iridium is probably, or gal, there's some killer women out there. And those people probably get to sleep in their own bed in their one-room apartment in New York City tonight.
Yeah.
Right? The cat playing at the Staples Center has a van call or a bus call. Like they can't miss that shit. You know what I mean? And like they've also got to make sure that like the audience is happy. They got to make sure that the crew is happy. They got they're probably eating shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless they're playing with Taylor Swift tonight. You know what I mean? Like I've played tours where it's like, man, the tour is good, and but catering's not always all it's cracked up to be.
Totally.
Like it's hard to eat well. It's hard to stay healthy out there. So you're right. You're right.
Yeah, totally. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like the Cash Band got I did a little taste of that stuff, and it
Yeah.
was like playing to tracks, playing written solos, parts, transitions, all that stuff, and it was so much more just like almost more awareness in the moment of when I would just improvise and because there's a certain level of like listening where you almost like turn off your brain, you get into a flow state, you're kind of connecting with what's around you versus like playing those pop gigs. It's very analytical. Like
Sure.
It's not a flow state as much.
Right.
I don't know if people who haven't maybe checked out the other side of the coin, they don't know.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's playing those kinds of gigs is way closer to my machinist job than it is to like being creative.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And you just have to be like on.
Yeah.
Like don't flub, man. Don't flub. Like if you don't show up, somebody else will.
They'll send you home.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's a good one.
What you got, Jack?
Do you want something cultural or do you want something musical?
Whatever you want.
What's the spiciest?
Oh, let's see.
Whatever gets us fucking clicks, dude.
Oh, what's good? Okay, here's one that because it's fun. I don't know. Memes are the lowest form and also shittiest form of communication.
Oh man. I mean, totally, but they're also fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. I think it's awful. So let me elaborate. Let me elaborate. So memes as we understand them today are pictures with funny words, right? That's not what the word means, but whatever. Fine. Don't at me. Words mean things, and that's not what that word means.
Yeah.
I learned that from Scott T. Thanks, buddy.
Yep.
I did.
So yeah, the word meme predates the internet. Look it up. I'm not doing your research for you.
No, for sure.
The people who use memes tell me to do my own research. Do your own. Anyways, memes as we understand them today are as such that like they're such a low form of communication that the problem with them is that they are the reason why the lowest form of communicators are so fucked, right? When we think of things, I don't want to get too political, but like there's a certain group of people in this world who have a certain set of beliefs that aren't even a set of beliefs, they're a set of fucking memes.
Yeah.
These people don't believe anything other than like the Joe Biden sticker they saw at the gas station, or whatever, you know what I mean?
Well, he did that.
He did that. Yeah, precisely, And it's like, no, he didn't set the price at Circle K, right? He's also he doesn't even own oil stock. That was George W. Bush. But it's things like that are just like, you guys don't communicate well. It's real annoying. And I hate it. And I think if I were to play the like old man shouting at a cloud, like technology is gonna, is the worst thing ever. It like that level of communication, not just memes, but that level of communication and the baggage that comes along with it could be the thing that dooms everyone.
Yeah. So a couple things to unpack there.
Yep.
I agree with everything that you just said. Now, if people, and there are people, there's many of them out there,
like 7 billion, I think 7.3 billion.
Well, that look at memes as anything other than a fun anecdote for your day, right, then that's a real problem. And those people are out there, and that is the problem,
Yeah.
right? In the context of politics, I don't know if it's a technology or if it's a commodifying of the political landscape that is the reason for memes being what they are.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
The technology certainly propagates it. However, the commodification of politics is what allows us to take nuanced conversations and boil them down to 2 sentences as a gotcha for marketing.
Right, absolutely.
Right? And
Yeah.
that's the problem.
Yeah, and I think to draw that out a little bit more, it might not even be the politics that they're commodifying. It's the emotion around it.
Yeah, totally.
Right? Because as my therapist tells me, there's only two emotions, love and fear, and those people are afraid. Right? And all they're doing with their like the memes and the proliferation of and weaponization of it is that you are exploiting someone's emotions.
Yeah.
Right? Which, granted, pot calling the kettle black. We play music and that's what we do for a fucking job.
Yeah.
But like, it's still like hopefully, if I'm doing what I want to do, hopefully what I'm doing is I'm exploiting someone's joy and their love.
And ability to unify.
Right.
Right.
Instead of being like, he did that shit, Hunter Biden's dick is gonna kill my kids.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, that's not, God damn it. Like, I didn't want to see his dick, but God damn it, you showed it to me.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, that's the thing. You know what I mean? Like there's a reason why people think that drag queens are more dangerous than guns.
Yeah.
But as it turns out, if you're looking at a drag queen, the gun's the most dangerous thing because somebody's gonna come and shoot you.
Yeah.
You know, like it's in. Like, I get it. I just memeified my shit. Like I didn't. Don't meme that. Don't clip that. But it's real unfortunate that's part of the mentality of the thing. You know.
Yeah, totally.
Like when you minimize a conversation, unfortunately, what happens is you get rid of context. You get rid of the majority of the information that's available on the conversation. And then, unfortunately, what happens is you also probably get it wrong, because when you simplify things sometimes so much, it's not nearly the point of what it was, right? Like if we want to get like music, take this back to music for a second, and take it back to engineering, right? When you compress things as far as bit rate's concerned, there becomes a time when it's no longer the original signal. Right? You take a guitar, play a chord, and then it's keep crushing bits, keep crushing bits, keep crushing bits. When you get down to like things that used to be acceptable, like 16 or 8, it doesn't sound like a guitar anymore.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. And so when we talk, like now pushing it back to memes, if we talk about take a conversation, like for example, what's happening in the world right now, literally this minute, at that time of recording, I'm not sure what's happening when you're watching this, but right now, there's a war between Israel and Hamas. Hamas is a terrorist organization, right? But that, and the Palestinian people deserve like a life, right? And I'm on the side of peace, and I'm not on the side of terrorism, and that shit doesn't fit in a fucking meme.
Yeah, totally.
80 years of history of Israel does not fit in a fucking meme.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it also doesn't fit on a flag in your fucking bio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, you've never been to Israel. I have. It's not the same thing. You don't get it. Like, you know, and like, it's real frustrating because we can have a nuanced conversation about like that whole conflict and the history thereof and where the solutions may lie, and the fact that we were fucking moving towards one, especially with the Saudis wanting to have an armistice with the Israelis. And I was so fucking hopeful.
Yeah,
you know.
all out the
and then
window.
this shit happens, and the problem is that when I go to the discourse that I would normally go to, which is like the what do they call it, the digital town hall of social media.
Yeah.
When I go there, I am not faced with people having nuanced conversations or even saying that they give a fuck about any of the people.
Right.
They just want to fucking make a meme, man, and that shit sucks. Fuck your memes, dude. Like it's real garbage for communication, and it's real garbage for people, and people don't understand anything because that is like they mistake the concept of a meme for an infographic.
Yeah, totally. And we've also in giving memes as much weight as we've allowed them to have over the years, they're now being weaponized against us by other countries. Like Russia has like meme farms and they just pump out nonsense.
Yeah.
And they just put them out on, whatever social media platform, and it gets all the fucking, all the boomers all hyped up.
Yeah.
And whether we like it or not, the boomers are still the ones kind of in charge.
Yeah, they have all the money and they have all the offices.
Yeah. So
until 10 years after their death.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, when they get amped up about shit, it's not just a cranky old person yelling, "Get off my grass." It's a real problem. So
it's a person who's like, the gays are the problem, and so is the abortions. So we're literally not going to have a Speaker of the House, nor are we going to push through anybody who is of military brass. And so our military is going to be crippled, and so is our Congress. And these are things that are legitimately happening.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we can make that point, finger pointing, and I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah.
What I'm getting at is that since information is so squashed, and so people are just so afraid of shit, that they use, like, even those people that whose name I'm not saying are using those culture wars as like their soapboxes, and that literally hamstrings the ability for a country to function.
Yeah, 100%.
And whether you want to get mad about the concept of globalism or not, we live in a world economy. The internet is the World Wide Web, right? That is where commerce is done, right? You want to buy anything, you're probably not going to a store right now.
Right.
You're probably going to the internet. It doesn't matter what it is, right? If you DoorDash your food, you Postmates your groceries, you Amazon your whatevers. Like if you need like, I don't know, like a Brillo pad butt plug, you can get one.
Yeah.
Right? And you don't need to go to a store and have anybody look at you weird because you wanted that. You can just go to the internet and get it,
Yeah.
And so, like, globalism, whatever, like, it literally, we are all one place.
Yeah.
Right? And for us to be so afraid of the concept that we could all just fucking work together and be one people, like, and I get that I'm getting real like woo-woo hippie shit, but like, for real, that is not something to be afraid of, because whether we like it or not, it's happening.
Yeah, it's already happening.
It's done, right? So don't be mad about it. Don't be afraid of it. You know what I mean? Don't meme it.
Yeah.
Don't, like, I get it's funny to laugh at Alex Jones, but like he means some nefarious shit when he says globalists. You know what I mean? And so, like, maybe we just skip the meme, and just be cool with the fact that maybe the thing you bought got somebody else a job.
Yeah, totally.
And maybe if there's somebody that you care about specifically, and you know that they have a form of commerce, then maybe you support them. Maybe you give musicians the dollar.
Right.
You know what I mean? And maybe, like, you don't just go stream their shit for free or for cheap. You know what I mean? Maybe you go see Anton Laplume at wherever gig he just said earlier.
Jackrabbits, November 15th with Big Shrimp.
November 14th.
Damn it, so close.
Yeah, with Big Shrimp. Go there, check it out, man. Like, and go to all of them. Like, wherever the people are, you go to them, you support them. Buy a fucking T-shirt that says "I yelled Freebird" because you want to support something, and not because you get all bent out of shape because somebody else blah blah blah. Fucking support the things you love. Don't be afraid of anything. You're gonna die one day. I'm gonna die one day. 5 years. And it's fine. We're gonna get there. You know what I mean? And, like, if we don't get there together, then what the fuck is the point?
Yeah, totally. Totally.
Fuck your memes, dog.
Yeah, I'm with you, man.
I like it. I like it.
That's a good,
Unpopular opinion, and I usually get a lot more pushback on that one. Just so you guys know, because this is one of my saber rattles. I say this one a lot. So
yeah.
I get pushback. But so thank you for validating me.
I can understand why people want to push back on it, but I mean, also at the same time, I don't, because really, it's like memes weren't ever meant to be like these like, pinnacles of truth.
Right. They're supposed to be cultural earworms.
Yeah,
That's it.
exactly. And that to me is all that, like, I find many of them, whether I agree with them or not, to be hilarious, because they're either ridiculous in how much nuance has been stripped away, which is why it's funny, or I do agree with it, and I'm like, that's kind of hilarious to simplify it that way, right? But either way, I know that if you're like in any other endeavor, especially music, if you want it to thrive, curiosity is always going to be the thing that keeps it moving. And when you reduce things and then state them as facts, you strip away not only the curiosity, but just the idea that you might be curious about it is laughable. now,
Sure. Go
right?
learn some shit.
Yeah, and then your entire culture as a whole gets dumbed down to the lowest common denominator, because though someone like you, not me because I don't like to read, but you might be you sound like a big reader.
I'm a big reader, yeah.
So even though you guys exist, you're only as strong as your weakest link now.
You're absolutely right.
Right?
Yeah, I yell facts at people all the time who don't want to hear them.
Exactly.
Sometimes you even sing it to them.
I do. Sometimes I do.
That's a good unpopular opinion.
Thank you.
I like it. So to kind of, I could go one kind of hilarious route, or I can go one a little bit more serious.
Which go with the one that is higher on the page.
Okay, the one that's higher on the page is okay. This might be pretty wildly unpopular for some people,
Come
but
for it.
people. Let me see how I worded this, because it's kind of
It's nuanced. It doesn't fit in a meme.
yeah, basically. People certainly try to make it fit in.
I'll get it down to 30 seconds for Instagram, no problem.
You'll yak and reel it up for me real quick.
You said it wrong, but I'm here for it.
Okay. Someone who uses a person's failed business endeavors to prove incompetence has never tried to start a business.
I agree with that.
Right?
But that is. Can I extend that?
Sure.
A person's successes in business also don't prove business acumen.
Sure, that's kind of the same thing, just a
It's
different
both, yeah.
perspective. Because what I hear a lot of in the news, and just for any of those, because I had someone fucking mention that I must be a big mainstream media guy. I don't watch any mainstream media. I do listen to a lot of more independent sources that I do trust.
Okay.
What I hear a lot of is people saying things like, "Oh, well, this person's not, they might be successful now, but they had, this business failed, this business failed, this." I'm like, dude, that's literally the story of any successful person ever.
Sure.
You don't hit it on your first one.
Maybe not.
Maybe, but that's the exception to the rule, though.
Absolutely, you're right. You're absolutely right.
And I think that to sit there and cast dispersions upon people that have had failed endeavors is way more telling of you than it is of the person that you're casting dispersions on.
Well, yeah, to quote every rapper, everyone's got haters, right?
Yeah.
And like fuck haters. Like, it's not a big thing. It is totally a big thing, but it's not gonna make or break you, unless your hater is extremely powerful. So yes, you're absolutely right. To also draw an extension to that, both my point on it, or how I framed it, and how you frame it, both don't take into account the fact that it also an unpopular opinion. In a capitalist system, especially the one that is what we have, which is well-regulated capitalism, talent does not equal success.
Right.
It just simply doesn't. Like some of the best people at various things that I know of are absolute failures, or absolute's not the word, but quantifiable failures. You could go, this person is a great guitar player, or is a very capable guitar player, and they write fantastic songs and they have a golden voice, but they can't be that good because they don't have any records out, right? And you could say that, but that robs the idea that and that's the the person failed a lot and so they suck, right? But that also robs the idea that maybe that person just didn't hit the luck. You know what I mean? Like nobody, the right person didn't hear him. They didn't get the right producer, or they got the wrong producer. Looking at you, Townes Van Zandt.
Yeah.
Right? Like he had the best fucking songs, and like unfortunately all the studio recordings are fucking awful. Because he just hit it wrong. You know what I mean? And so that's why he didn't get to be Johnny Cash.
Right.
But for my money, Townes Van Zandt is 10 times the songwriter that Johnny Cash ever would have been. If Johnny Cash wrote his own songs.
I was gonna say,
yeah. But you know what I'm saying? It's yes, you're absolutely right. And I think that success does not indicate acumen.
Right.
And failure does not indicate deficiency. You were absolutely right.
Yeah.
Amen, brother.
Yeah. It's it's just it's very telling to me when people say things like that, because and I have to like and I do get I think that when you've tried to start any kind of endeavor, you know, in my case, it's always been something, you know, music related, whether it's bands or, you know, trying to sustain a podcast. And like, is it where there are so many things that happen where you're like, you know, okay, it didn't work out. Does that mean that anything that I do in the future is going to be a failure? Or does that mean that I'm any less capable of doing something because I've had failed endeavors? At least people that have those failed endeavors have tried to do the thing.
Sure, absolutely.
Right? To your point, you know, when people bring up, you know, like Elon Musk or Donald Trump or people like this where, you know, they've had successes, they've also had failures.
They both had rich dads too.
Yeah, well, you know, that definitely helps.
If my dad owned an opal mine or a diamond mine or a whatever else, I'd also have a brand new truck, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'll drive my 2003 fucking S10. It'll be fine.
So I don't know. Yeah, it's one of those things where I think that we need to stop reducing, because it's also it's misleading on the people that it's coming from too, because you have like reporters that say things like this or anchors that say things like this, and you're like, but you know that's bullshit though, right? Because if you're let's say you're not on like a mainstream media platform. Let's say that you are somebody who's like a news podcaster or whatever.
Fuck yeah, I'm on Rumble right now. Yeah. I'm not on Rumble. Don't.
Yeah, don't
Don't do that. Don't come back. Don't click away.
Yeah. When you're saying things like that, I know that you're full of shit and you're just trying to ramp people up because you've started your own thing, and chances are this isn't your first incarceration of it, or incarnation of it, right? So when you say things like that, you're doing something to amp up your people to get more views, and it's bullshit. And I
100%.
think it's the cheapest form of trying to obtain followers.
Yeah, also those people don't know shit about statistics, because if they did, they would know that correlation is not causation.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and it's like it's that simple. Like, just because two things run parallel to one another, it does not mean that they are related.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
It's like the age-old tale of like, you know, the example that they use in like stats classes where it's like, well, there's a correlation between ice cream sales and boat accidents.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, how do you get from point A to point B? Well, it's the summertime. Usually people buy ice cream because it's hot. They're out in the boats because it's hot.
Precisely.
One doesn't cause the other.
I don't get high on my fucking butter pecan and then fucking crash my boat.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I do, but you know, there's other things going on.
Speak for yourself, dude.
You're right. I do get high on my butter pecan.
Yeah.
That's my favorite ice cream. So, you know, if somebody out there wants to buy me some, they get it.
So anyways, that's my unpopular opinion. You
cool.
know.
I'm going to do another one, because I got one that can be, I think it can be done quickly. Let's find out.
Sure.
This is my musical one. Standing ovations should be only for truly superlative performances.
I said something like this recently where, not quite the same thing, but like encores are overrated.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I think that like it also takes away from like the surprise element of, oh, you're okay. So you're about standing ovations. Where
I'm only going to stand up if you were fucking awesome.
Yeah.
If you suck, or if you were just real good, I'm not standing up.
Yeah, you're gonna.
I don't care if everyone around me is standing up.
Yeah.
Because I've done this before and I don't do it. I won't do it.
I can see it.
Like, I see performance and I'm like, okay, that was good, but like I'm like generally emotionally unmoved.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm not going to get up and like stand. Like, I feel like genuinely, like, a standing ovation should only be for superlative performance.
Additionally, it shouldn't even be a conscious decision. You should be rocketed out of your seat by the end of the performance. There is no choice but to stand up with how excited you are.
Yeah.
If you are actively thinking, should I stand or not? Stay seated.
Don't. Yeah.
Sit down.
Don't do it. Yeah. Like, and it's the amount of times that I've actually been moved to want to give somebody a standing ovation are just so few, and so many different kinds of performances.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter, like athletic things, theatrical things, musical things. Like if I got your story but I didn't like feel it, that's fine, man.
Yeah.
That's all.
I feel that for sure. I'm with that.
I like it.
Thanks.